Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has been going on a bit of a bizarre tear against Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. Why? Apparently because she's not married. Weird. She said, quote, "This is a woman. She's never been married. She has no children. She's never had a job other than working in a bar." So this was on Eric Bolling's podcast. And this was basically in response to Bolling bringing up AOC as someone who would have an opinion on the 2028 election. So that, just the mention of her name was enough to drive Marjorie Greene crazy. In fact, she said, quote, "She's never run a business. This is a woman that really has no life experience and has no life wisdom because she's never done any of those things. This is why no one will ever take her seriously as a presidential candidate, because we don't want someone that's propped up by the Democrat progressive establishment." Democrat progressive establishment. Are you kidding me? Jesus. She's such an idiot. That's not a thing that actually exists. Okay. But anyway, sorry. And who's basically an actress herself. Oh my God, making the most important decisions in America on behalf of Americans, who most of them have had jobs, have jobs, ran companies, have children, and have been married. No, she's an actress. What? Okay, first off, she's got her history wrong, obviously. Not surprised. AOC has had worked for the National Hispanic Institute, and she had worked for Bernie Sanders' 2016 campaign before successfully running for Congress in 2018. And it should be noted, by the way, that being a congresswoman is also considered to be a job. Just saying. Greene might know that if she actually did her job, but she doesn't. She goes around and all the right-wing talk shows and just says a bunch of garbage. But here's the thing, right? Only about 8% of Americans actually own their own businesses, right? So are you telling everyone else, the 92% of the country, that they should have no, they have no experience in politics and should shut up about politics? That's what you're saying, unless you've owned a business? Seems really strange. And by the way, Greene only became part of that 8% when her parents sold her and her ex-husband their contracting business. So this is not a company that Greene started herself. This was a, hey, here, we're going to hand over the business to you. Wow. So much for starting from the ground up. That said, look, you do not have to own a business to be a member of Congress. In fact, you know what we need? We need more working class people in politics, in Congress. Wouldn't that be amazing if working class people were actually more represented in Congress? Oh, that'd be great. That would be wonderful. Perhaps we would get, policies that actually help working people instead of policies that help corporations and the very rich. That said, getting to the more bizarre thing. Oh, she's unmarried. Doesn't have no kids. Why does that matter? Why? It doesn't. Look, AOC has a fiance. She's been engaged to them for a couple of years. And like a lot of younger people, getting married a little bit later in life. And that's totally fine. It's actually better, I think, to wait, because by that time, you know who you are, you know what you want out of a partner and out of a relationship. People who marry later tend to not get divorced as often. Unlike Marjorie Greene, who is divorced, okay? And her divorce was announced amidst some rumors that she had engaged in some affairs with a couple of different dudes. One of them, apparently a tantric sex guru. Not judging or anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, okay, it's an interesting choice. But apparently that was just for fun. Now she is dating a right-wing radio host named Brian Glenn. Not that that really matters, but he does show up in certain places. So anyway, I'm not sure this criticism of AOC makes a lot of sense here, but it does show you how they view young people, how they view women, how they view members of the working class. They want to sit there and claim that the Republican Party is representative of the working class, right? And they're not the elitists. No, so Democrats are the elitists. And then they say elitist crap like this. I mean, look, you do need to be kind of elite or just really, really lucky to be able to both, start a business that is successful and have a family in this economy. Just saying. Just saying. All of this just really feels like a lot of jealousy on the part of our Marjorie Greene, because here's AOC actually continuing to be extremely popular among the voters. A recent CNN poll has her polling ahead of Vice President Kamala Harris, Senator Bernie Sanders, and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. The poll, conducted by SSRS in collaboration with CNN, asked respondents to name the Democratic leader who best represents the core values of the party. Respondents named AOC as their first choice. That's pretty big. Axios reporter Alex Eisenstadt has even compared AOC's rise in American politics to the emergence of the Tea Party, which was, again, incredibly successful on the right. He said this: her rise kind of reminds me of what happened to Republicans after Obama's election in 2008, where it was the loudest voices of the Republican Party, the Tea Party, that gained traction at a time when the Republican Party was lost. So the parallels here, to me, are quite evident. The Democrats, the establishment is in disarray. There is no leadership. Chuck Schumer is a joke. Okay, nobody really cares about what Hakeem Jeffries is saying. All right. But Bernie Sanders and AOC, they're out there. Tim Walz is out there. They're going to the places where both Republicans and Democrats have mostly abandoned to go and rally people. And guess what? It's worked. Thousands of people have showed up. So I think that Greene's response to all this talk about AOC and how she is being considered to be a leader, I think is based on jealousy and legitimate worry that someone like her, if she ends up in a leadership position, is going to be able to go and clean Republican clocks. And that is something that they are not prepared for. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.